Well, welcome to this week's edition of nathbet.com. Before we get started with the bets this week, first and foremost, let me just address last week. It was a crazy week for results. I think you all know that by now. If you had any tips that made you any kind of a profit last weekend, I would like to beat him personally. But that doesn't mean to say that that's going to carry on for long. We're going to win plenty of money starting from this week. Second of all, you might notice some changes to the site. We have some accumulator widgets down the side menu. Basically, that means you don't have to navigate away from the site. You can place all your bets right here at nathbet.com. There's also a free £10 bet for new account holders, especially with Sky Bet. You can put them on some odds-on certainties you think are nailed on to come in, win yourself a cool 20 or 30 quid, and then put that money on my tips this weekend, and you're basically free rolling. That is an absolute no-brainer. Okay, let's start with the safe double then. This week I've been searching high and low, and I think I found a couple of really good prices for us. We're going to start with Sunderland, who I fancy to beat Reading at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland had a really good result away at the Emirates, a 0-0 draw. They were overlooked at times, but pretty much they were solid for the 90 minutes, and they face a Reading side who have played midweek. They had a good draw maybe on the opening day of the season, but they're going to be tired. They've got a long trip to the northeast against a Sunderland side with Sessegnon, with James McLean. They've just added Louis Sarr, who has a knack on scoring debut, and they could also have Stephen Fletcher available as well from Wolves. 4-5 is the price, and I think that is very tasty indeed. And that is the first of our double, and we are making Brighton the second selection. They're 5-6. I think Brighton are going to sweep aside Barnsley pretty easily indeed. They were held to a good 0-0 draw with Cardiff. However, the man of the match was the Cardiff keeper on that occasion, and I think they had 19 attempts on target over the 90 minutes, and I think that's an excellent bet at 5-6. That gives us a 2.37, a 2.38 to 1 double, which is a nice one for us to get started. That's available with both Ladbrokes and Sky Bet. So that's the double, Sunderland and Brighton. Onto the treble, and we're going to include Brighton again in that. It's one of my strongest selections this week, so Brighton again at the start of the treble, and we are making Middlesbrough, who were my selection last week. They didn't come in. I think they are this week. Since then, after losing to Barnsley, they've gone on to have a really good win against Burnley 3-2, and they face a Crystal Palace side who are just on the back of a 4-1 thrashing in midweek, and I think that it's going to be another long trip for them to the northeast and back. Middlesbrough available at 4-5. They've also, along with the signings that I said, Ledbetter, Woodgate, they have signed probably one of the best on loan signings I would say this season, Josh McCracken from Chelsea. He's going to play in the hole. He's going to be given a free role by Tony Mowbray. I think that's an excellent signing. Plenty of Premier League clubs are after him, but Middlesbrough have secured his services, and I think he will help them onto a good win against Crystal Palace on Saturday. They're 4-5. Brighton available at 5-6, and the third of my bets are Swindon, who are available at 11-8 against MK Dons. Swindon have been absolutely flying, and I tipped them earlier on for back-to-back promotions, and I think that is definite certainty. MK Dons fancied as well to do well this season, but Swindon at home I think are going to be too much for them at 11-8. That gives us about 6.7, 6.8 to 1 double. That's available with Ladbrokes and Coral. Again, on the side of your screen, you can put that on with Ladbrokes right now. Onto the fourfold, and we have 4 really good tips this weekend. Manchester City is our first port of call. I wanted to watch the Liverpool game tonight to see who played, who didn't play against Hearts. 5 players who started the game last weekend were featured tonight. Reina, Aga, Barini, also Stuart Downing and Joe Allen had to come off from the bench in a very unconvincing 1-0 victory. Then obviously you know that they lost 3-0 away to West Brom, which was an absolute nightmare. Manchester City had to scare themselves against Southampton, however they got through it, and I don't think that a trip to Liverpool is too scary for Roberto Mancini, whereas new manager Brendan Rodgers I don't think would want that visit at all. Okay, they're out without Sergio Aguero, however they've got absolutely anyone who can come in. I mean, I think Tevez is obviously nailed on for a start, probably with Mario Balotelli, but obviously they've got Edin Dzeko there. Nasri looked on form. David Silva still missed a penalty last weekend. He wasn't on song. I think a trip to Liverpool at odds of 11 to 8 are absolutely fantastic price. So that is my first tip of the weekend. Second, the team that they did beat eventually, Southampton, I thought played really, really well and probably deserved a draw on the day. They're at home this weekend. They face Wigan and are available about 6 to 5. Wigan have just lost Victor Moses to Chelsea, and I think that Southampton at home, their first home game in the Premier League for plenty of years, I think they're a really good bet. People thought, could they score goals? Well, they scored 2 at the Eastlands, will have given them plenty of confidence indeed, and I think that 6 to 5, that's available evens, maybe 17 to 14 with a couple of bookmakers is a very reasonable bet indeed. Swansea are my next bet. Football's a fickle world. I backed them to get beat as my tip of the weekend last weekend. Well, I take it back. I did not know what I was talking about. Michael Laudrup looks like he's got his men. They've got some excellent signings there, and they looked a really, really exciting team. Probably the most exciting team to watch, I would have said, last weekend. So this week we're tipping them to beat West Ham. They are 11 to 10. That's available with most bookmakers, I think, and I think that's a good price. I would have had them more evens or maybe odds on, but they were 11 to 10. So let's take advantage of that. So we have Manchester City, Southampton, Swansea. And our fourth bet is Leeds United. They haven't started the season well, but they go to Peterborough and they're a very nice price. They're 6 to 4. I would have thought that if they price this up first weekend of the season, they would probably be odds on. They're a strong side, Leeds, and under Neil Warnock, they're definitely going to get better sooner rather than later. He'll have them fired up. They lost 2-1 to Blackpool in midweek, but they played pretty well, and Blackpool was strong at home, so I fancy Leeds to go to Peterborough and get a result there. They're available at 6 to 4. That gives us a 24 to 1 double that is available with Betfred and Paddy Power. Remember, you can put that bet on with Betfred right here at nathbet.com. Those are your odds, those are your prices, those are your selections. They're also available below me in full written format. Remember, you also have Pete's long shot as well. Okay, thanks very much. Thanks for listening, and we will see you again next week, hopefully with some profits to talk about. Take care. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.